Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Barry, that Goat Metal Show, with a freaking rant. I just wanted to talk about something that I was trying to pick up. Everybody understands that usually who's seen some of my videos, they know that I usually pick up, I get deals from eBay. Try to do my due diligence, getting some decent little deals, and so on and so forth. I'm not down being cheap, but it's always good to get a good fucking deal so you could, get more for your buck. So I was gonna go down the rabbit hole, and I found a couple of black metal albums that were Christian black metal. Yeah, sounds funny, right? So there's this seller called Christian Metal Underground, okay, which I found out that they have a record label called Visions of God Records. Okay, I guess they put out Christian metal bands, black, thrash, death. They got a nice little variety there. So there was two bands that caught my eye, and it was an LP. This band called Demonic, Duth at the end. It's called Enemy of Satan, right? And then the 7 inch called the band was called Ceremonial Sacred, and the name of the 7 inch was Eternity Begins Tonight. It was real cool. Had like a little blue splatter, little nice little 7 inch. So what happened was this seller, Christian Metal Underground, sent me an offer for the 7 inch. It was like $4 and change or whatever. So I sent him a message, and I told him, listen, I'm also interested in the LP with the demonic stuff. To get the LP if he doesn't mind. Try maybe cutting it down. I think he had it for like $10.99, something like that. So I said, can you offer it for $9? $9 plus what he's offered me for the 7 inch with combined shipping. So he messages me back. He says, "Oh, can you do 10?" So I stood in between. I said, "Fine, I'll do the LP for 10, but we're gonna get the deal for the 7 inch as well. So plus combined shipping." So he says, "Fine." So we're going back and forth on the messages, and lo and behold, I go and I said, "Okay, so I'm gonna go and put the albums on the shopping cart. It's the cart. You can put them in the cart. Then you request combined shipping, right? Anybody who's been on eBay knows this is, especially if you sell on eBay. All right, I sell on eBay, so I know this is what you can do. You put it in the shopping cart, and what happens is once you get the request for combined shipping, the seller then could go and basically lower the price of the shipping, so to put it for combined, and you can also lower the price of the items that you're selling. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to put it for the same price. I mean, especially if you were already discussing a deal with whoever. So if something was $10.99 and he was supposed to sell it to me for 10, he was supposed to take it out for $10. And for the 7 inch, I think it was like he had it originally for $5.89, and it was supposed to be $4.15, whatever it was. So he sends me an invoice, and he basically sends me an invoice with he gave me the combined shipping, which wasn't much, which I didn't understand, because if anybody who sells, again, you send anything media mail, especially an album, if you send one album and a 7 inch, that should be under $6. All right, I was getting charged over $7 for shipping, which wasn't much from the combined. What the if you would have left it alone and just left it, it would have been like $13 or something like that. So he never took off the price of the LP, which was supposed to be $1 off or whatever, and he never gave me the offer for the 7 inch. He left everything at the original price. So when I go back and forth with him and I'm talking to this dude, I'm like, hey, what happened to the deal? He starts mentioning the combined shipping, and then I'm going back, and then I basically, when I was trying to get a hold of him before, where he never took it off, he never responded. His people never responded. So I went and I canceled the order. So this is supposed to be a Christian label, right? So he comes at me. He goes, "Cancel the order. Thanks so much for your support. LOL." So I shoot back, and I say, it's funny. It's funny, but then you never lowered the price of the LP. It was still the same price. You never said that. Never said in the beginning of the negotiations that I would have to pay full price for the 7-inch, which you never did. All right. And when you did the invoice, you could have taken off the price, and you never did. And I said, who would have thought a Christian seller would be slick? What a shame. He's like, I'm not being slick. That was the price of the shipping. All right. As I told you previously, I can adjust it to combined shipping. I cannot change the price of the purchase after it's purchased. eBay doesn't allow. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Don't give me that shit. Because I've done invoices and I've changed the price. All right. He's full of it. He's full of it. So I was like, basically he was coming out with that. And I know what they can and can't allow. Okay, and you can. There's a way that you could actually, even if that had been the case, and he would have just told me, hey, put it in. I'm going to make sure you get a refund for the difference. A lot of sellers do that too, where they don't have an understanding how to do that. They'll go and they'll say, don't worry, and they do give you a refund of whatever the difference is. This dude wasn't about to do that. So this is what I shot back with as well, just so you can hear. It's just fucking hilarious. So medium male with one LP and one 7-inch is over $7. You never lowered the price of the LP that we agreed on, and you felt like since the offer expired on the 7-inch, you couldn't give me the offer price. I sell on eBay as well, and when you do the invoice, you could change the prices of the item and shipping. So please don't act like he wasn't being slick. But I guess this is the price I pay for trying to get into some Christian black metal. At least the satanic black metal labels are straight up and want your business. Thanks for nothing. Hey, look, no disrespect to Christian metalheads and so on. And again, like I said, the albums those albums I wanted to get, they were really cool, really good albums. I don't discriminate when it comes to what kind of metal it is or what their belief system is. If the fucking music sounds great, it sounds great. I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna like it. But I'm just upset with the fact that this dude is over here trying to think that he was gonna get one over on me. So, you're going to go give me a deal, and all you did was just lower the freaking mailing a couple of dollars and think you gave me a fucking deal. No, dude, sorry. But, I'll find a way to get those albums some other way. Whatever. Well, guys, look, that was my rant for today. And, if there's anything that, I think I've helped Dan from, Moonshine Talk, and he had an issue with eBay. If you guys are buying on eBay and you run into any little issues, hit me up. I'll give you some tips on what to do and, make sure you guys don't get screwed over, because there are some people on eBay that be trying to play themselves. All right? They ain't playing me. All right? All right, guys. That's all I got right now. Hope you enjoyed my rant, and look for some more stuff coming up. This is Barry, That Goat Metal Show. Stay brutal.